Okay, this video is going to all the wolves, and it's a good reminder to parents as well that study skills are called that because they are a skill. So a lot of us are facing this sort of new chapter of life as a student where we went from being able to master things quickly in class via one assignment or one activity to now feeling like we really have to take our time to understand the concepts that are being presented to us. And therein lies study skills. Your student is being asked to take tests that are more complex, on more information, on more detailed information, and really being challenged in certain questions during their assessments or their worksheets or their homeworks. So I got together with Miss A and Miss Fogarty to kind of take a look at all the different things we've done and we've seen other people do when we are learning. And we've collected quite a list. So let's go over them. Okay, the first one is good old flashcards, all right? Flashcards are not my favorite, but some students really love them. There's also online flashcard apps that are relatively cheap or free. And if you are doing vocab heavy stuff, that may be up your alley. All you do, you're putting one on one side, flipping it over and doing the answer on the other. Shuffle them, have someone else read them to you, and you can learn them from both approaches, right? So square root of 64 is 8. What is 8 squared? 64. So you could do a lot of variations with your flashcards. Songs are another one that may be helpful in memorization when you're doing a lot of lists. You can do something that's familiar to you. So recently I posted a cover song that we used that another YouTuber made covering Taylor Swift for multiplying eighths. So you can make your own, but you can also do something like the wheels on the bus, the parts of the sentence are do, do, do. Make up your own. By making your own up, you're engaging also in that material and you're gonna learn more of it. Okay, teach a parent or a stuffy or a pet is a personal favorite of mine, probably why I'm a teacher now. Parent, that's like master level though, because they're gonna ask questions. So when I study or when I have to prepare something, I tend to teach a stuffy or a pet. My cat is very judge-free, at least he can't speak his judgments. And so it gives me a safe space to kind of go over things, and when I'm teaching someone, I can recognize how I feel about my confidence with that information. And then I might take it to a parent, or in this case for me, review my speech or my lecture with a co-teacher or someone else who will ask questions or give me safe criticisms, and that can help me improve my ability to execute whatever I'm doing, right? Pictures are another one. If you're doing something where you have to recall vocabulary or you have to recall a story, think of one picture to represent one topic. So if you have metals, metalloids, and nonmetals in science, maybe pick an example of each one of those. And that picture will be associated with that term when you go to study. Movement is another really good one. A lot of our students will probably benefit from this one, as crazy as it sounds. But there's a lot of information out there about how using your body while you're memorizing or learning is really helpful. So you can absolutely jump on a trampoline, take a walk while reading or being read to. You can do push-ups, you can do skipping on a hopscotch, things like that while you're memorizing things or while you're doing study. Relating to your life is another big one that I just like to remind people of, because if studying is not your natural thing, then maybe you haven't thought about that. But while you're going through material, if you are learning about the parts of the United States, maybe think about if you visited any of those places. You can also go and watch videos of that place and really engage with the video. So if you haven't been to the Grand Canyon, but you watch a video on it, you can remember something in that video that you really enjoyed and help connect things. We're trying to connect dots so that what you're not doing is living in short-term memory, and what you are doing is transferring all of that in a relatable way into long-term storage. We have a lot of students who, they do really well on worksheets and then test day comes and what happens? And if it's not anxiety and they really do feel like they don't know the material that day, let's start using some of these skills and see how that goes, right? Games. Matching and hangman are another good one, especially if we're talking about terminology and vocabulary. We're really looking to just get creative. You can take a regular deck of cards and use that for a lot of things. You could play Uno with it, and every time you have to draw, you have to state a fact from your worksheet. Or you can play slapjack, and whoever wins has to state a fact or solve a problem related to that homework or that skill or that test. Get creative and do these things with your kids. I know they don't always feel very enthusiastic about it. You can set timers, you can do it on a certain day of the week, come up with ways to encourage them to incorporate this into their lives, because it's just gonna get more and more important as they move through junior high and into high school and college. Okay, the last two are kind of old school as well, kind of like our flashcards. We have rewrite and re-highlight. If you have a printer at home, you can make copies of their notes in black and white and then have them go back through with highlighters. It's gonna allow them to condense the information down. If they are at the point where they really don't understand it, then they can rewrite certain things if that's something that they are open to, okay? And then acronyms are another good one. My good old friend PEMDAS, you can make your own. You can make your own acronyms to represent, if we're looking at cycles or processes, acronyms are a really good one, okay? Some of this stuff may be stuff you use every day when you're preparing for things in your own work life or your own household. I know I use lists a lot, I use acronyms a lot, I use movement a lot. And so some of these things, I teach Stuffies and my Judgy Cat. Some of these things are gonna be more interesting to you or your student based on their personality and their brain type. And this is really a universal list that can apply to all of the subjects they're learning right now, okay? So I just wanted to put this out there. That way, if they're feeling like, I did study, and then you say, what did you do? And they can't verbalize it, let's pick something really intentional and do something for the next test or the next project or the next homework. These are all things you can do with homework too. Okay, so even though you might not have an assessment coming up, if you have a homework assignment and they're in the mood to spend good 15 minutes of work on that homework assignment, you can do it with movement. Or you can do it and come up with a song while you do it. Or you can do it and then highlight the homework. These are all things you can do to encourage, again, really getting that information from short term and let's complete this task into true comprehension. And yes, we do all of this stuff in class, but all of this is also really helpful to do at home with different people at different times of day in different environments. Okay, let's hack our own brains and come up with stuff that works for us. Let's do it.